Prismatic Evolutions has a major problem that nobody is talking about because everybody is blinded by the hype and popularity with this set being a Eevee set. Now, don't get me wrong, this set is going to perform extremely well in the short term and long term. But I want to speak about this long term because in the short term, like I said, this is going to perform, Prismatic Evolutions is going to perform extremely well. Everything's going to be very expensive. I really think that's going to happen. But there's something wrong with Prismatic Evolutions. And it's that it's a specialty set. And it seems like in history of Pokemon, specialty sets have this problem of being printed into the ground. There's some sets out there that have gotten printed into the ground that are main sets. There's been plenty of sets that we've seen that happen to. But specifically, specialty sets, it seems like it happens to every single one. Because you can name main sets out there from, past eras where, they haven't been printed a lot, like Sword and Shield Base. And then some other sets out there that have been printed a lot, like Silver Tempest, like Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike when those went down to $80. Like there's instances with main sets where some get printed a lot, some don't get printed a lot at all. But it just seems like specialty sets get printed a ton. And it seems like when they reprint these, usually they reprint Elite Trainer boxes. And we've seen this with like all specialty sets, at least in the past few eras. Like it's crazy. It's like without fail, these specialty sets, they get reprinted so much. Now, it is sort of a weird time. It seems like, in Scarlet and Violet, they aren't reprinting things as crazy as in Sword and Shield. But so far, we've seen just with even 151, I guess you can compare that to. Recently, there was a lot of 151 products that, came up in other places as well. But mainly, I'm just talking about reprints in general for specialty sets. They get reprinted a lot. And I know 151 is very expensive, so you might make that comparison saying that, well, if 151 can do that, like, what can Prismatic Evolutions do? That's a good point. But I just want to let this be known because some people out there might not be thinking about this. Because a lot of people I think, are going to go extremely heavy into Prismatic Evolutions. Like, people, I think, are going to go crazy on the set. And like I said, short term, you're probably going to do extremely well if you can get these at retail. But if you're one of those people that is buying these Elite Trainer boxes of Prismatic Evolutions at $100 plus and you're holding for the long term, just know there's possibilities, we've seen in the past with these specialty sets, that these Elite Trainer boxes get printed into the ground. And it's not like main sets where main sets have booster boxes where sometimes booster boxes really don't get reprinted as much or even at all. And, Pokemon will put those, main set packs into other products like we see with some sets out there. This is different because with specialty sets, it seems like they do reprint Elite Trainer boxes, which is like the main thing that people are going to invest into. So I'm not here to scare you because it's possible I could be completely wrong about Prismatic Evolutions, that maybe they don't do huge reprints of Elite Trainer boxes. I'm not saying any of this is going to happen, but I just want to talk about the history of what we've seen with, past specialty sets, that they do get reprinted a lot. And a perfect example is a set that's not that old. I think it's just now 2 years old or something like that. Or maybe not even 2 years old. I think it's about to be 2 years old. Crown Zenith. People don't even talk really about Crown Zenith anymore. Crown Zenith is a really, really good set. But it got reprinted into the ground. And just recently, these have started to go up to $60. But for the longest time, these were hovering around it went all the way down to sub 40. And then it was kind of staying in the mid 40s and then 50, and then now it's starting to go back up. But these got printed so much. And if they hadn't gotten printed so much, I really think this Elite Trainer box could possibly be $100. Really, I believe it could be very possible because there's expensive cards in the set. It's very fun to open. There's plenty of chase cards. But it's only $60 right now because it got printed into the ground. And if you went heavy on Crown Zenith, you'd probably be disappointed because if you're just buying them maybe at $40, $45, because that's probably, I'm just, averaging out here, that's probably what a lot of people would probably have paid. I mean, you're not doing extremely well. $15 or even $20, let's say you got them at $40. $20 seems like a lot. That's like a 50% gain. But Elite Trainer boxes, and they're only like at this price point being like $60, your margin and everything is going to be terrible because if you're shipping these, you're not going to make any money. Fees, the shipping is going to cost probably like $8. You're not making anything. So this is a perfect example of a very good set that got killed because it's a specialty set and it got printed into the ground. The next set here, Pokemon Go. Now, obviously, Pokemon Go is nowhere near as good, or it seems, as Prismatic Evolutions. I don't really even need to really talk about this set. Pokemon Go is not that great. We all kind of know this. The only thing that Pokemon Go has going for it is the Ditto card, or the Ditto thing where you can peel off the sticker. It has the Mewtwo, but other than that, like, this just was kind of a bust. I'm not actually sure if these got printed a ton, to be honest, because there just wasn't any demand for the set. So it's like really possible that literally that they didn't even reprint it and just no one wants it. That's very possible. I'm not really sure because at this time, honestly, like, I didn't pay any attention to Pokemon Go. So not really sure if they reprinted this a lot or not, but I just know there's no demand, so the set isn't doing very good. And then another perfect example of a set that got reprinted into the ground, possibly maybe even more than Crown Zenith, Shining Fates. Now, Shining Fates came out in the time where Pokemon was super, super popular because of everything that was going on in the world. And it got, these, I think, hit almost $100 or something. They went crazy. But then they got reprinted, and I'm pretty sure they hit like in the 30s. Maybe it doesn't show it here, but I remember these going for super cheap. And even now, they're going for nothing. $50, like a year ago, was 45. Like, this is another set that just got reprinted into the ground like crazy, and now it's like worthless. Like, nobody wants Shining Fates. And then Celebrations. Now, Celebrations, I think long term it's still going to do good, but this also got reprinted a lot. There's a ton of these Lance's Charizard boxes, the Sylveon boxes. There's a ton of these like celebration products where you can see in a year from ago that they have done nothing. Like, it was $80, now it's 86. These got, I think, a pretty decent sized reprint if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, this still hasn't done anything really in a year. I don't know if it's just the demand for the set, but you can see here so far none of these specialty sets have performed extremely well, it seems. Champion's Path. Now, Champion's Path, it has done actually nothing. It's actually seems like it's gone down in price. This doesn't really have anything good in it. I don't really know anything about reprints, to be honest, with this specialty set, but there's just really nothing crazy in Champion's Path. Yes, it's still a $100 ETB, but yeah, there's nothing really great about the set, so I don't think I can make a good comparison here. And then Hidden Face. This is another example of a good set like Crown Zenith, where it got reprinted a lot, and it's just recently now starting to move. But for the longest time, like, I wish I could go back further here, because I remember these were sitting at like 120 to 140 for the longest time. Like, just recently here, it's gone up to now like 190, which I'm actually surprised. I haven't checked these prices in a while, but they were at like 140 forever. Like, I'm talking about, like, it was crazy. Like, they were not going up at all. It was really weird, but now they're finally starting to go up. But Hidden Fates is a kind of old set now. It's from Sun and Moon. It's decently old, so it's just now seeing the growth, but it was stuck for the longest time because of reprints. So I just wanted to make this video to remind you guys that specialty sets, out of main sets and whatever, they're the ones that have the chances of getting reprinted into the ground more than any other set, like main sets. It's the most risky, in my opinion, to go super heavy on, just because we've seen the performance of some of these, specialty sets in the past where reprints have really hurt them. Will we see this with Prismatic? Maybe not. Is it possible? Sure, because we've seen that in the past that's happened. So I just want to make this video to just talk about this, because I don't think a lot of people do talk about, this being a specialty set and the problems that comes with it. I still think this will perform well in the long run and also in the short term, but I think there is, a chance that if this gets heavily reprinted, that it may take a while for these to go up. But if you're fine with that and you're really in it for the long term, I still think Prismatic, whatever the case may be with reprints, it's going to do good. But I just want to talk about this problem I see with just specialty sets. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.